Alright, hello, welcome back to Assassin's Creed Origins. I'm going to be doing a review. But first, a few caveats about my personal review and what's happening here. First off, this is strictly my opinion. I think this should be given at the onset of all reviews, but this is basically what I like in games, and you may feel differently. Most reviews don't actually tell you that. Most reviews will just come right out and say, this is how you should feel. I don't do that. Regardless. My opinion, take it or leave it. Now, the second caveat is that I have done very little story missions. So, here, let me jump ahead to show you exactly where I'm at. I've got pretty high up. I maxed out all of my crafting items, but as you can see, I don't have the Assassin's Blade. I've only done the first part of the main storyline, so pretty much, and I am at level 40, as you can see, which is pretty darn high. And as such, you know, pretty much everything I've done are the side quests, the explorations, and that sort of thing. And right now, what I am doing is going to raid this camp here while I do that. So, pretty much my opinions, my views, and so on are going to be... Ooh, he's level 41. Tough guy. My views, my opinions are going to be almost strictly what's happened in the side storyline quests. So, I think to start out with... one of the things... Wait, let's line that up. Okay. I did a video previously called the Jerk Factor, which illustrates... Darn it, where'd that guy come from? The fact that a lot of characters in fiction are jerks, and Assassin's Creed has more than its fair share of jerks. I think it specifically of characters such as Ezio de Torre and Edward Kenway were very much jerks. I did not care for them at all as human beings. That being said, Bayek in this one is not a jerk. He's actually a pretty decent character thus far. So, yeah, so thumbs up for that. I am very happy about that aspect of it. It's like, not a jerk. Anytime you have a character that's not a jerk, it's always a success, I'm thinking. So, yep, so, thus far, main character, really cool. So dealing with, like, the side missions, such as this side mission. Darn it, he blocked that. Okay. So side missions such as this are actually pretty darned fun. So I've gotten the commander, yay. And that's the great thing about the shotgun bow. Is that you can stand at the top of the ladders and wait for people to come to you and just use it. So yeah, gonna give big thumbs up for the shotgun bow. Recommend you get one very early on in this game because it's very convenient use of weapons. And let's move on to reviewing the weapons. The weapons are pretty cool. There's a variety of weapons in this one, as opposed to other Assassin's Creed games where you're limited. Basically, you only have a specific set of weapons. This one you have quite a few weapons, which is a lot of fun. Maybe he's too far away, or maybe he's invisible. Who knows? And yeah, so the weapons are good. Sneak attacks are very good. One thing I didn't quite care for about weapons in general, one of my favorite things in the Assassin's Creed games are the Berserker darts. However, the way that this particular one has been set up Darn it, why does that guy keep moving? Right when I get a pin on him, he moves. Anyway, the way this one has been in particularly set up, seems like there should be more people around. Ah, there's somebody up there. Okay, so the way that this has been set up is that the Berserker darts can only be used, can't be used at range distance. You have to sneak up to the person and stab them with the Berserker dart, then sneak away. Which is all fine and good, but I can honestly say that I miss the whole shooting, you know, what you normally did with the Berserker darts, which was, you know, fire them at a distance. And, oh, this guy woke up. So, I did not like that aspect of it, especially since there are other things like this, like sleep darts and, yeah, sleep dart, yep, got 2 of the treasures, yes. So, sleep darts and poison darts that can be used at a distance. Ah! Darn it. So, that's one negative. Then you should be available. There we go. I actually, one of the things I thought that I would really miss was the traditional Eagle Vision. But to my surprise, when I played it through, I'm actually enjoying this Senu version of it. And you pretty much get the same effect once you get high enough to mark your opponents and like that. See, you know, so I got these guys marked so I can see where they are in the game. And I'm looking for the treasure. I can't seem to find it with Senu. Usually Senu will point out treasures, secret entrances, even if you can't technically see them. So it's pretty much like having it is pretty much like Eagle Vision. The only downside would be that ooh, water. The only downside would be that Senu can't be used during combat, or if you're deep underground. So that's the only downside to it, but thus far it hasn't affected gameplay all that much. So, gonna give that one a positive. Oh, wait, I just saw treasure, so aha. One of the downsides that I'm seeing with it is that sometimes things are hard to spot. When I'm looking for treasure, I've had this problem before. But other than that, Senu works quite well as literal Eagle Vision. Haha, very clever of them to do it that way. So, for playability, at least in that regard, it's quite good. Let's move on to the side quests on here. And thus far I've been impressed with side quests. They work quite well. They're very good. They have that kind of absurd nature that side quests often do, without going overboard. And, you know, give Assassin's Creed credit for this. They tend not to go overboard when they do side quests. I'm thinking, when I say overboard, I'm thinking specifically of games like Red Dead Redemption, where you have a side quest of gathering flowers for a man to give to his wife, and then it turns out the man is pretty much, it's pretty much a scene straight out of Psycho. You show up and, yeah, the man's wife is not only dead, but has been decayed to the point where you're just like, dude. You know, it's like straight out of Psycho if you've ever seen the movie Psycho. So you see all these, yeah, the wife's dead and he's still acting and pretending like she's still alive. It's a really creepy and, you know, for my money, very unsatisfying little moment. So, you know, Assassin's Creed has these absurd things that happen within the game, in the side quests. Example in this one is that you had to say,
Damn it! You cannot escape.
darn it. you had to rescue these looters, I suppose you'd call them treasure hunters, and recover their treasure that has been stolen. And as you go through it, it ends up with them obviously not trusting themselves or anyone with their treasure, and yeah, ends with them fighting over the treasure. And it's actually quite funny. It turned out to be rather silly, funny, absurd little side quest to watch them fight over the treasure and to rescue them, and yeah, just kind of roll your eyes at them. So let's see. There should be some treasure around here somewhere. I think there's treasure. Wait. Oh, I didn't get the captain either, huh? This must be... Whoa. Huh. Okay. So, alright. There he is, and there's the treasure. So I'm actually pretty close to him. Whoa. Stealth attack. One of the unfortunate things that has been commented by people is that with some targets, even if you're super high level like I am, you can't always do an instant kill on them. You can only do so much. And yeah, that's just not as satisfying as sneaking in, doing a complete instant kill. And like you saw, I had to attack him, which, yeah, usually, at least at this level, you can get that instant attack thing going fairly quick. You can, yeah, don't do an instant kill, but do a pretty good attack and then fight it out. So it works. It's just doesn't feel quite as satisfying. We'll say that. Now another thing. Okay, I'm going to stop here and take a look at this. I'm wearing Armor of Isu, which is actually, you have to go through quite a bit to get it. It kind of reminded me of that. What was it called? I can't remember what it was called, but in Syndicate, when you had to collect all the music boxes, and you open up essentially a tomb, and you get this outfit for Evie. That's a really cool outfit. You had to go through all that to get this sort of outfit. You had to go all over Egypt to get everything, and it was, yeah, pretty cool, pretty fun to do that. So it was a cool outfit to get and stuff like that. And a few people have said, you know, it reminds them of the game Destiny, the outfits you get in that game, which I don't play it, so, but I've seen images, so yeah, it does look a bit like that. The downside to this and other outfits, well, it's both a positive and a negative, depending on your viewpoint. But one of the things that could be viewed as a positive or negative about... Oh, he's underground. Darn it. Darn people who are actually underground. Makes it harder for me to do the whole above ground assess. Oh, he's coming up. Wonder if I can do a take... Yes! Stealth attack! But I'm of course being seen, but... So, oh, fire arrows. Those are not fun. But like I said... Ah, darn it! Yeah, and one other thing. It's annoying that you get enemies that are back away from where you are, like that guy did, who you swing at them and you think you're close enough to hit them, but they just back barely out of range. That's just very aggravating, I think, for any player in any game, but it's not necessarily a bad gameplay per se, it's just really aggravating in any game. But anyway, I was talking about the outfits. So one of the downside to outfits in this game is they don't actually do anything. So they're purely cosmetic outfits. So I look cool in this, but I don't get extra armor bonus, which, if you consider that this is an outfit of the first... Haha, crash that. Of the first civilization, you would think you'd get some pretty awesome stuff, awesome at least additional armor or additional cool stuff out of it. But sadly, you don't. So that's a negative, but that's a negative part of that. On the plus side, oftentimes you would, in other games where you have different outfits, you choose the outfit that isn't like the coolest one or the one that you would prefer to wear, but it is the one that gives you the best advantage in the game. And if it's not an outfit you really like, then you're stuck with it because it gives you a really cool advantage. So yeah, so like I said, it's good and bad. That one in particular is a good and bad thing. So yeah, so for the outfits, it depends on what you prefer and what you like. I personally like this outfit. It's pretty cool, and I'll probably want to change into something different later on. So make of that what you will on the outfits. Let's pull up the map and kind of show you stuff. One of the things I really enjoyed is tomb exploration. I was gonna teleport to one of the if I can. Oh, yeah, Giza. Sheesh. So let's teleport here. So one of the okay, so that's the outfit thing. I really enjoyed tombs. Just, they're fun to kind of go in and explore. And yeah, it's just a fun thing to do in the game. So thumbs up for those tombs. That's a good review on that one. One of the things you encounter in tombs are the cobras. Now, cobras are probably the most dangerous animal you can encounter in a game. The plus side is, if you know they're there, you can... so gonna do the full slide down the pyramid, because that's awesome. So if you know they're there, you can stay back and pepper them with arrows or do other things to take them out. In one area, you can actually ignite an entire room full of cobras and just have them burn up. The reason they're so dangerous is, one, you don't see them, and two, no matter how high your level gets, they'll take off a single bite from them will take off a third of your life instantly. And 3 bites, you automatically desynchronize. So they're very dangerous animals. All the other animals, they just take off small chunks if they hit you. So cobra's very dangerous, and you find them in the tombs a lot. So yeah, so that's, yeah, cobra's very dangerous. Avoid them. That's kind of the whole thing. So that's a brief review. I haven't said anything too negative. I've done pros and cons, the pros and the things that could go either way. As for negative things in the gameplay, I can't speak for the full storyline, although thus far it's been pretty good. But a negative aspect of that I've been playing is that they've brought back. So they've taken out a lot of the innovations that Syndicate brought into it. And that's understandable. Syndicate wasn't all that popular, even though I really enjoyed it. And one of the things I really, it's understandable that you don't have, say, the grappling hook gauntlet, because, this is 2,000 years earlier than Syndicate, give or take. And so, yeah, obviously they won't have that, even though there are times when I really miss it in this game. But that having been said, there are other things that they did in Syndicate that are not being done in this game in particular. One of the things that they changed in Syndicate was every time you had a leap of faith, it came up and you had to hit essentially 3 buttons. Well, you had to point in the direction and hit 2 buttons to do a leap of faith, which does make it more complex. And in this one, they went back to the just push in the direction and hit X. And I've encountered the same problems I had with Black Flag, and I believe it's in a couple of the other games as well, in that sometimes when I get to a leap of faith point, yeah, I'll push where I think I'm supposed to leap, and I'll hit the X. So, here we go. I knew somebody had attacked me there. And I'll hit the X, and instead of doing a leap of faith, I'll jump, and I've actually desynchronized, or at least seriously injured myself doing that several times, just strictly by accident. And so, yeah, that's one of the downsides of gameplay in this one. It's just a bit of a bummer that it has that downside, and that, for me, that's the biggest downside, so it's not that big of a deal. It's just one of those things that's just kind of annoying at times. The only other thing that's kind of a downside, at least for me, is the controls are different from previous Assassin's Creed games. So, especially for the battle systems. So in this one, to walk, you only push slightly on the controller like I'm doing now. To run, you push all the way down on the joystick controller. Now, I'm used to doing hitting that button, the button that does that, to run in Assassin's Creed games. So it's one of those things that it's a little, you know, it takes a little while to get used to, but it's not that big a deal once you get used to it. It becomes much more intuitive, much more fun. So, on the whole in gameplay, at least for the non-essential quests, the fun free world roaming and side quests and stuff like that, yeah, I'm giving a thumbs up, even though there's a couple of things that, if I were making the game, I would have differently. And yeah, so enjoy. So yes, I would recommend, if you're into this sort of game, get it, enjoy the game, have fun with it. You get to do all kinds of fun, cool stuff in it, and you can just run around the desert if you like. So anyway, like and subscribe if you like it, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.